Dengan hormatnya, saya menjemput Yang Berhormat Datuk Ahmad Douglas Ugah Embas, Timbalan Premier Sarawak, Menteri Infrastruktur dan Pembangunan Pelabuhan, merangkap Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri N37 Bukit Saban untuk menyampaikan ucapan penggulungan.
Terima kasih Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker. Daun selasih di atas pagar si anak dara buat hidangan. Terima kasih Tan Sri Speaker yang bijaksana, giliran MIPD buat penggulungan. First and foremost, allow me to extend my heartiest congratulations to Yang Berhormat Premier Sarawak for successfully tabling the Supply Bill 2023, Bill 2022 with the theme Sarawak First toward an inclusive, prosperous and harmonious society. I'm indeed delighted to inform you that the 2023 budget is a surplus budget. It has an estimated total revenue of Ringgit Malaysia 11.035 billion and ordinary expenditure of 10.797 billion. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, this is the first time in the state budget history the revenue is projected to surpass the 11 billion mark. This unprecedented projected increase of revenue to Ringgit Malaysia 11.035 billion is made possible because Yang Berhormat Premier placed great emphasis on fiscal responsibility and his wisdom in revenue re-engineering effort. He is continuously and relentlessly tapping into new source of revenue to grow the economy, particularly in the uncharted areas. This will lead to a substantial increase in revenue and dramatically improve our fiscal situation. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, this is a budget that assigns a high priority to rural development with the goal of narrowing the gap between rural and urban communities. It is common knowledge that the infrastructure in rural Sarawak is lagging far behind that in West Malaysia in the urban area of our state. This budget invests 60% or Ringgit Malaysia 4.5 billion out of Ringgit Malaysia 7.5 billion in rural development. This includes fast-tracking infrastructure development in rural areas and eradicating the remnant of poverty to uplifting the livelihood of the rural population in Sarawak. With this generous budget, we will be on track to achieve our goal of being a developed state by 2030. I believe with the clear vision and direction of our Yang Berhormat Premier, Sarawak will be able to develop into an economic powerhouse that will contribute to the nation and drive the whole country forward. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, I give full support to Yang Berhormat Premier on his appeal to the federal government to increase the budget allocation to Sarawak. The current allocation is mere 5.7% of the nation 2023 development budget. The sum is far from sufficient to address the imbalance in development requirement to gradually bring Sarawak up to par with West Malaysia. Sarawak requires at least 10% of the nation 2023 development budget. It is my hope that this allocation that are due to Sarawak will be directly and expeditiously dispersed into the Sarawak State Trust account. This will ensure the speedy implementation of all the federal funded projects and ensure that allocation can be fully utilized with the fiscal year. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, I join all my other colleagues also would like to express my heartfelt congratulations to Yang Berhormat Datuk Seri Haji Anwar bin Ibrahim on his appointment as the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia. I am confident that he will lead our nation to a greater height. I also like to congratulate our Premier of Sarawak for his able leadership in the recent general election, where GPS have won 23 out of 31 seats contested. It It is testimony that GPS has the support of the majority of the people of Sarawak. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, under the capable leadership of our Premier, Sarawak has achieved political stability that has allowed our state to develop and grow and to withstand the numerous challenges that have come our way. The GPS government is guided by our motto, Sarawak First. United we can, will make the difference. We will uphold our commitment to the pursuit of sustainable development and steer Sarawak to the goal of becoming high-income state by 2030. Development budget of ringgit Malaysia 75 billion allocated to development budget. 60% or ringgit Malaysia 4.5 billion is targeted for rural development in Sarawak. This is evident that through this budget commitment, Sarawak GPS government is serious in its effort to develop rural area. We will leave no one behind. The 2023 budget has allocated a total sum of ringgit Malaysia 795.711 million for my ministry, Ministry of Infrastructure and Port Development. This will allow us to undertake 4 basic infrastructure programs to be funded as well as follows. 1. Ringgit Malaysia 490.941 million for land infrastructure. Ringgit Malaysia 83.860 million for riverine infrastructure. Ringgit Malaysia 167.41 million for government building and 53.5 million for public building. The generous budget allocation highlighted the commitment and determination of our GPS government to ensure that Sarawak will progress and that the well-being of our people will continue to flourish. Infrastructure development. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, the development of infrastructure is a major catalyst for economic growth and continue to be our main agenda under the 12th Malaysia Plan. We need to augment growth, productivity, and raise the quality of life of our rural population. In order to achieve that and to narrow the economic disparity within rural and urban communities, it is vital that we implement impactful projects that could further improve accessibility for the rural population. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, allow me to update this August House on various ongoing projects. Coastal Road Network. The government is committed to ensure that our coastal road network is successfully implemented. The construction of the coastal road network is divided into 3 components. Number 1, a replacement of 7 existing ferry crossings to major bridges. Construction of missing link road along the coastal area. And 3, upgrading of 331 km out of 866 km of existing coastal road. For the construction of bridges and roads, all 13 packages have been awarded. These packages are at various stages of implementation and are expected to be completed by 2025. As for the upgrading work on the existing coastal road, 8 out of 29 packages have been completed, namely 1. Kota Samarahan, Sadong Jaya Road, Samarahan Division, 15 km. 2. Sungai Buloh and Sungai Road, Samarahan Division, 8.05 km. 3. Sungai Buloh, Subuyau Road, Samarahan Division, 9.6 km. 4. Trisau, Melebu, Pusat Phase 1, 8.4 km. 5. Trisau, Melebu, Pusat Phase 2, 17.2 km. 6. Trisau, Melebu, Pusat Phase 3, 9.1 km. 7. Sungai Nyalau to Bakam Road, first section, Miri Division, 8.1 km. And 8. Sungai Nyalau to Bakam Road, second section, Miri Division, 27.2 km. The remaining 21 packages are at various stages of implementation and are expected to complete by 2024. Second Trunk Road Program. Under the Second Trunk Road Program, 6 out of 14 packages has been awarded. These are 1. Petang Saribas Bridge number 2. 2. Petang Saribas Bridge to Ruban Interchange. 3. Subuyau Lingga, 4. Sungai Lingga Bridge, 5. Batanlupa Bridge number 2, and 6. Batanlupa Bridge number 2, Seri Aman to Betong Interchange. Should be number 1. These packages are at various stages of construction, and all 6 are scheduled to be for completion by 2025. Federal project. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, allow me to update this August House on the federal approved project, namely 1. Pen Borneo Highway Sarawak, PBHS, the Sarawak Sabah Link Road, SSLR, and the Trans Borneo Highway. Pen Borneo Highway Sarawak, as of October 2022, the overall progress of the Pen Borneo Highway Sarawak project has achieved 89%, with 7 sections fully completed and open for public use. There are 1 Teluk Melano to Sematan section, number 2 Siaran section, B Batang Rajang Bridge section, 4 Julau section, 5 Nyabau flyover section, 6 Pujut section, and 7 Selangau section. Meanwhile, the remaining section at various stages of implementation and are expected to be completed 95% by 2023, with the rest to be completed by 2024. The Pen Borneo Sarawak is a mega project with various implementation challenges. As the project nears its completion, our utmost priority will be the safety of user of the new road. Sabah Sarawak Link Road. Sabah Sarawak Link Road Phase 1 from Simpang Galagus to Long Lopeng, Lawas, with a total length of 77 km, is currently under construction. It is showing good progress, and Phase 1 is expected to be completed by the first quarter of 2026. SSLR Phase 2 is divided into 4 packages, namely Package 1, Mulu to Long Seridan, 45 km, Package 2, Long Seridan to Nangan Benamit, 71 km, Package 3, Long Lopeng to Long Komap, Baklalan, 75 km, and Package 4, Rumah Aling to Long Marakap, 66 km. The project is currently in planning stage, and construction is expected to start in the third quarter of 2023. Trans Borneo Highway. The Trans Borneo Highway is a project to upgrade the existing road network to dual carriageway, connecting Sabah and Sarawak with Negara Brunei Darussalam, with a total road length of 96.3 km. It is divided into 3 sections. 1. Miri section, 4.9 km, 2. Limbang section, 57.3 km, and 3. Lawas section, 34.1 km. This project is in the planning stage, and work is expected to begin in the fourth quarter of 2023. Project Rakyat. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, our Right Honourable Premier has come up with many initiatives for the betterment of our state. Among them is Project Rakyat. My ministry has been tasked to undertake a total of 223 projects under Project Rakyat throughout Sarawak at a total cost of ringgit Malaysia 8.49 billion. This comprises of the following: 121 road project budgeted at about ringgit Malaysia 4.26 billion. Number 2, 49 bridges project budgeted at about 2.44 billion. Number 3, 47 building project budgeted at about ringgit Malaysia 1.28 billion. Number 4, 4 jetties budgeted at ringgit Malaysia 1.47 million. Number 5, 2 short takeoff and landing airport stall port budgeted at about 510.5 million. To date, 223 projects are as follows: 81 projects has been completed, 64 are under construction, with 13 projects expected to be completed by the end of 2022, while the rest will be completed in stages by 2024, and 78 projects are currently at a pre-contract stage. Rural connectivity. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, rural connectivity is of profound importance for Sarawak, as it paved the way for new growth opportunities and improved socio-economic well-being of the people through better healthcare, education, agriculture, and various economic activities. To propel further growth, it is important that we expand our economic activity beyond the confines of the present urban cities and towns. In this respect, a follow-up lab was conducted earlier this year, and a database on rural connectivity was established. Based on the finding of the lab, a total of 5,833 or 94% out of 6,214 registered settlements in rural area are connected by road. In order to achieve 100% connectivity, we need to construct a total length of about 1,200 kilometers of new road to connect the remaining 381 settlements. After reviewing the cost of construction of our road, my ministry and JKR will look into new approaches to reduce the construction cost and to speed up to reduce the construction time. Among others, one, utilizing front-end engineering funding, such as survey work, soil investigation, and design. Number two, leveraging on low-volume rural road design. And number three, using locally available material, such as river gravel, river sand, and sandstone. My ministry, together with JKR, will continue to improve the provision of basic infrastructure for the rural population. No one shall be marginalized, and everyone deserves to enjoy Sarawak economic prosperity, sustainable environment, and social inclusivity. Port performance. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Sarawak economy have shown resilience in the wake of a global post-pandemic recovery. Up to the third quarter of 2022, Sarawak Port Authority registered a total throughput of 17.01 million tonne, an increase of 8.8% as compared to 15.63 million tonne registered in the same period in 2021. 1. Kuching Port Authority handled 7.39 million tonne, an increase of 11.8% from 6.61 million tonne. Rajang Port Authority registered 1.14 million tonne, an increase of 10.7% from 1.03 million tonne. Semblaju Port Authority handled 5.17 million tonne, a surge of 28.6% from 4.02 million tonne. Miri Port Authority recorded a 20.3% decline in cargo throughput, falling from 2.56 million tonne to 2.04 million tonne. Similarly, Tanjung Manis Port Authority recorded a decrease of 10% from 1.4 million tonne for the first 3 quarters of 2021 to 1.26 million tonne in the corresponding period in 2022. Port development. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, port play an important role in the economic development and sustainability of a country. In supporting Sarawak economic growth toward achieving a developed state, Sarawak government is putting emphasis on its port development agenda. Port Master Plan study will commence in the first quarter of 2023, with Miri Port Authority being selected as a pioneer. The Port Master Plan study is aimed at enhancing the efficiency of the port services, upgrading port facilities, and exploring new business opportunities. The study will also include the possibility of addressing the issue of shallow drought at Kuala Baram access channel. An allocation of ringgit Malaysia 70 million has been approved to supply, install, and commission quay crane for Kuching Port Authority in order to improve its container handling performance. Currently, the project is in the final tender stage, expected to be awarded by the end of this year. Ringgit Malaysia 30.5 million has been allocated to the vessel traffic management system, which is currently 84% developed. Once completed and scheduled for commissioning in the first quarter of 2023, this system will enable KPA to manage and enhance the navigational safety of ships using the port. Ringgit Malaysia 56.9 million has been recently been awarded for the proposed construction of KPA vehicle yard and associate facilities at Senari Tamandu. For Tanjung Manis Port, Ringgit Malaysia 39.4 million allocated for the aid to navigation Aton project, which is currently 90% completed and is expected to be commissioned by the first quarter of 2023. On completion, this system will improve navigational capacity of the port, provide weather and tidal information, and control marine traffic flow from Kuala Rajang to Tanjung Manis. The said initiatives affirm our Sarawak government commitment to modernize our port infrastructure, facilities, navigational safety, and driving Sarawak economic growth. This will boost user confidence and subsequently enhance productivity, efficiency, and profitability of our port. Emergency work for damaged public infrastructure. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, the rakyat depend on reliable land infrastructure, such as roads and bridges, to carry out their daily activities. Unfortunately, natural disasters such as flood and landslide can cause serious damages to infrastructure, which pose hardship to the people when their mobility is affected. Such emergency work was currently funded through Minor Emergency Work Assistance Fund under the Sarawak Disaster Management Committee, which has its funding limitation, as the allocation is only 5 million per annum. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, in addressing this situation, the Sarawak government approved the emergency response work for damaged public infrastructure program with an initial allocation of Ringgit Malaysia 50 million in 2023. The approval of this work will be under the purview also of Sarawak Disaster Management Committee, implemented by JKR. With this allocation, JKR will be able to reinstate or reconstruct the damaged infrastructure expeditiously. Our challenges. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, the construction sector play a prominent role in our economic development and growth. It is undeniable that the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic is still felt in the construction industry. Projects are suffering from labor shortages, supply chain issues, and financing pressure. Additionally, project delay as well as time and cost overrun are still experienced by contractors. As a result, project has failed to abide by the original schedule for completion. To alleviate this financial woe faced by contractors affected by the pandemic, in August 2021, the Sarawak government approved the first variation of price in Bantuan Khas Sarawak Kusayang 7. This involved 8 construction material with an allocation of Ringgit Malaysia 400 million. In September 2022, the government approved a second VOP in BKSS 9 involving 25 additional construction material with an allocation or allocation of Ringgit Malaysia 700 million. This initiative has been taken to further assist in the recovery of local construction industry and the timely delivery of project in Sarawak. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, my ministry will closely monitor the progress of all implemented projects by JKR Sarawak to ensure their timely delivery. Any project implementation issue will contribute to delay will be addressed in our monthly infrastructure project monitoring committee meeting, which is under my chairmanship. We must strive to deliver our promise to the riot. Highland Development Agencies. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, the Highland Development Agencies, of which I was the chairman, was established by the Sarawak Government 12 July 2017 to spearhead planning and development in Baram area. The Sarawak Government has allocated 1.5 billion for a total of 50 projects to be undertaken by HDA. Of this, 29 were roads and bridges, 19 were water supply, and 2 were electricity supply. Out of the 50 projects, 4 has been completed, and they are proposed improvement of internal road and drainage of Long Bedian, Proposed improvement of existing road to Long Silat, Long Tikam, Long Jikitan, Long Makabab, Section 3. Proposed improvement of existing road to Long Makabab. Proposed improvement of existing road to Long Silat, Long Tikang, Long Jikitan, Long Makabab, Section 2. Proposed improvement of existing road to Long Tikan, Long Jikitan. And proposed improvement of access road and main road to Long Semiang. These other 36 projects are various stages of implementation, while the remaining 10 projects are currently at the details design stage, expected to be tendered in 2023. Petang Division Development Agencies. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, the Petang Division Development Agency is a newly established regional agency, tasked with further accelerating the tempo of development in Petang. It covers the state constituency of Layar, Bukit Saban, Korean, Kelakar, Saribas, Betingmaro, Kabong, and part of Lingga. The state government has allocated 1.5 billion for BDDA to coordinate and accelerate infrastructure and socio-economic development projects. These projects involve various sectors including infrastructure and utility, agriculture and agro-forest industry, tourism, social services, industrial, commercial, and business enterprises. The BDDA will spearhead income-generating activities in Petang Division with the aim to improve the quality of life of the rakyat. In this regard, on behalf of BDDA, I would like to thank our Yang Amat Berhormat Premier for this thoughtful budget allocation and for his unwavering support for the establishment of these agencies. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, I am now responding to issues raised by ahli-ahli Yang Berhormat. First, I'd like to express my appreciation for all those ahli Yang Berhormat that has contributed and participated in the debate regarding my ministry. For the information of ahli Yang Berhormat for Baleh, Tunuk, this is inland port. Tunuk has the potential to be developed as inland port hub, linking the central region of Sarawak and Kalimantan, Indonesia. And preliminary market studies will be carried out to determine its viability. Government quarters. For ahli Yang Berhormat for Meradong, the government acknowledged the need to improve and renovate government quarters. The sum of ringgit Malaysia 10.5 million is allocated in 2023 for the purpose of improvement and refurbishment work to government quarters. Government offices. For the information of ahli Yang Berhormat for Kabong, the proposed construction of Kabong District Office is currently under design stage, expected to be tendered in the third quarter of 2023. Infrastructure project. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, ferry. I wish to update ahli Yang Berhormat for Pelagos that the construction of proposed ferry ramp at Nangatuli is expected to commence in the first quarter of 2023. For the information of ahli Yang Berhormat for Topong, our ministry recognized the importance of the construction of underpass at Matang roundabout, will pursue the request for its implementation under the third Malaysia Plan midterm review. Similarly, ahli Yang Berhormat dari report the proposed Nilong bypass road design is in progress and allocation for implementation of the project will also be requested under the midterm review. Ahli Yang Berhormat for Balengian and Machan, the construction of Talian bypass project and the road to Ulu Machan are under design stage, expected to be tendered first quarter of 2023. Ahli Yang Berhormat for Pelagos on the proposed upgrading of Jalan Beletih Airport Kapit bypass and the proposed alternative road linking Kapit Town to Kapit Song Road. JKR is in the process of appointing consultant for the design. Ahli Yang Berhormat for Bukit Asset, the proposed construction of Sibu Ling Road, Oya Road Phase 2 is currently under preliminary stage. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, for the information of ahli Yang Berhormat for Bukit Semuja, a total of 8 overhead pedestrian bridges will be constructed along the Siaran Langsung Road under the Pen Borneo Highway project. All the 8 pedestrian bridges are currently under construction, expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2023. Meanwhile, the operation of street lighting at critical areas such as at U-turn and P-turn will be implemented in stages from December 2022 to February 2023. For the information of ahli yang berhormat for Batu Petang, the roundabout before mile 15 along the Kuching Siaran Road is constructed to cater for U-turn, particularly for big truck and semi-trailer. JKR Sarawak has conducted road safety audit in 2019. All findings of the RSA have been assessed and recommendation has been carried out. JKR Sarawak will perform another road safety audit to assess its effectiveness. Schedule of rate was to inform ahli yang berhormat for Ketibas. I think saya sudah jawab this one at the earlier during a reply to the Ministry of Finance. Restructuring of JKR Sarawak. On the concern by ahli yang berhormat for Meradong and Meluan pertaining to the redeployment of JKR Sarawak staff and on the autonomy or empowerment be given to JKR Divisional Office, I wish to inform both ahli yang berhormat that JKR Sarawak has carried out an internal review on their function structure for better delivery of service to the rakyat. Two main changes will take effect from 1st January 2023. They are as follows. 1. Closure of all the JKR project regional office throughout Sarawak. 2. Redistribution of personnel in regional office to divisional offices in accordance with the revised JKR management structure. The internal review process will be a continuous exercise throughout the years to come. Critically delayed project, Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, for the information of ahli yang berhormat Pontaro, the two projects, namely the proposed Jalan Pasir Matu and proposed Jalan Bawang Asan, Tanjung Manis, Sungai Ilas, Kampung Sibenak, Fase 2, has been terminated. The government in the process of appointing rescue contractor to revive the project. There are a number of new requests. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, my ministry recognize the importance of all the requests of upgrading, the construction of road, bridges, building in their respective constituency as submitted by the following Yang Berhormat. Yang Berhormat for Baleh, Balengian, Beting Maro, Bukit Bangunan, Bukit Semuja, Daro, Kelili, Kelakak, Ketibas, Kerian, Lingga, Macan, Meluan, Meradong, Murum, Ngemah, Upar, Lagus, Tamin, Langusan, and Talian. JKR Sarawak will study the proposal, taking cognition of their benefit to the rakyat. If deemed feasible, they will be forwarded to the government for consideration. I've instructed all JKR divisional engineers to engage with ahli yang berhormat to assist their level best to deliver the need of the rakyat. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, allow me to update this House on matters under my purview. First, unit for the religion. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, GPS government will continue to uphold a policy of inclusivity in line with the post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030, which can be seen through the funding assistance given to the House of Worship and Mission School in Sarawak. For the year 2022, Unifor has assisted 251 numbers of projects totaling ringgit Malaysia 50 million for construction, repair, and upgrading House of Worship. On the top of that, the Amat Berhormat Premier of Sarawak has also approved 5 projects this year, totaling ringgit Malaysia 14.7 million under the Project Rakyat for the same purpose. In addition, Unifor also has been allocated ringgit Malaysia 15 million to this year to assist Mission School throughout Sarawak to upkeep building and ground. The list of recipients is being finalized as this will be disbursed soon. For the information of Honourable Member for N59 Tamin, application for fund assistance for SK St. Mark Selangau and SK St. Matthews Squaw Selangau is also included under this year allocation. To ease the burden and operation costs of House of Worship due to the effect of COVID-19 pandemic, the Sarawak government has allocated ringgit Malaysia 5 million operational grant benefiting 193 House of Worship of various religions this year. The policy of inclusivity by Sarawak government also can be seen through the alienation of 3 acres of state land at Jalan Ong Tian Sui to Sarawak Unit for the Religion Charitable Trust. The purpose of the land is for us to construct Unit 4 complex. The construction has started on 13 July 2022, expected to be completed by July 2024. For the information, Honourable Member of N62 Katibas, the Sarawak government will continue to provide fund assistance to House of Worship and Mission School in Sarawak. The commitment can be seen through the increment of budget for fund assistance for the House of Worship from Ringgit Malaysia 50 million this year to Ringgit Malaysia 100 million next year, as announced by Yang Amat Berhormat Premier of Sarawak during the Majlis Aspirasi Unit 4 in Cebu in Kuching recently. For the information of Honourable Member for 23 Bukit Samuja, the budget for fund assistance for the House of Worship and Mission School are from Premier Special Development Assistance Fund, SDAF, and therefore the budget 2023 announced by Yang Amat Berhormat Premier of Sarawak does not appear specifically in the State 2023 budget. It is fall under SDAF. For information, the member for N58 Balingan, Unit 4 provide fund assistance based on application received. Construction, repair, upgrade of House of Worship can be considered, including construction and repair of a road to the legal bureau site, provided there is way leave obtained. House of Worship may submit the application to Unit 4 for assistance. On the request of new bureau site of Bayan Tasik dan Setuan Besar, respective House of Worship may submit their citing application through Unit 4 for further investigation. For the information of Honourable Member for N66 Murum, Unit 4 has approved Ringgit Malaysia 300,000 fund assistance in 2017 for project pembinaan Gereja Umum dan Pusat Roman Katolik at BRS Sungai Asap. The church can submit an application for additional fund for Unit 4 for further consideration. GPS government would like to urge the rakyat of various races and religions to further strengthen our understanding, peace and religious harmony in Sarawak, so that the development agenda can be implemented in line with the strategic thrust of ease of doing business under PCDS 2030. The other issue under my purview is Ketua Kaum, Ketua Masyarakat. Mengenai isu yang dibangkitkan oleh ahli yang berhormat dari Pelagus dan Ketibas, kerajaan pada masa ini belum mempunyai cadangan untuk menaikkan kadar allowance minima Ketua Masyarakat dan Ketua Kaum. Seperti sedia maklum, perkhidmatan ini adalah perkhidmatan sukarela dan penyandang, bukanlah berstatus pejabat awam. Tambahan pula, peringkat gaji minima 2022 hanya terpakai kepada pekerja di sektor swasta. Oleh itu, yang demikian, ia tidak membabitkan perkhidmatan bagi Ketua Masyarakat dan Ketua Kaum Negeri Sarawak. Oleh kerana pun kita memberi maklum cadangan kedua-dua yang berhormat. Langsir Datuk Amat Speaker, Jawatan Ketua Masyarakat. Bagi isu yang dibangkitkan oleh yang berhormat bagi N23 Bukit Semuja mengenai cadangan untuk mewujudkan Jawatan Temenggung Melayu di Serian, kerajaan ambil maklum terhadap perkara yang dibangkitkan akan dipertimbangkan cadangan tersebut dengan sewajarnya. Bagi isu yang dibangkitkan oleh yang berhormat bagi N18 Rembu, kerajaan telah menerima permohonan mewujudkan tambahan jawatan penghulu bagi kawasan Baut dan akan mempertimbangkannya selaras dengan kriteria yang telah ditetapkan. Langsir Datuk Amat Speaker, mewujudkan jawatan KMKK di taman-taman perumahan. Makluman yang berhormat dari N17 setakat, kerajaan akan ambil maklum mengenai cadangan tersebut. Pada masa ini, sebuah jawatankuasa khas telah ditubuh bagi meneliti secara terperinci kaedah serta menentukan kriteria asas pewujudan jawatan Ketua Masyarakat dan Ketua Kaum di taman-taman perumahan, memandangkan kerajaan belum lagi mempunyai sebarang dasar atau mewujudkan jawatan KMKK di kawasan-kawasan berkenaan. Satu kajian secara kajian rintis akan dilaksanakan dan kawasan-kawasan taman perumahan tertentu dalam daerah Kuching untuk mengenal pasti kaedah yang terbaik dan kata-kata dia yang kita boleh guna pakai. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, the people of Sarawak are blessed and extremely fortunate to have Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Haji Abdul Rahman Zuhari bin Tun Datuk Abang Haji Openg as a visionary, competent and compassionate leader of Sarawak. I would like to take this opportunity to urge all Sarawakian to continue to give their full support to our GPS government, including our friend the other side. We must set aside our political differences to serve a bigger interest of the people, the state and the nation. We want to maintain our unity, as without unity we cannot have continuity in pursuit of our development agenda. Before I conclude, I wish to record my appreciation and thank to all Yang Berhormat for their support and valuable comment throughout the sitting. My gratitude also goes to Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker for your gracious and competent handling of the proceeding of this August House. I also like to convey my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to State Civil Service, members of the media, and my MIPD team, JK Sarawak, Sarawak State Port Authority and other agencies for their tireless effort and dedication in ensuring the smooth running of this Dewan. On COVID-19 infection in Sarawak, currently the daily cases are considered low. However, therefore we thank the people of Sarawak on their high awareness on the importance of public measure as well as the high acceptance of vaccine. If the virus may continue to mutate and spread in the community, the public is strongly encouraged to take their booster dose of COVID-19 vaccination, continue to practice personal hygiene, and to wear a mask, especially in crowded areas. Finally, I would like to wish a happy and blessed Christmas, Happy New Year, Kong Si Fa Chai to everyone in Sarawak. May the year 2023 bring happy tidings, greater happiness and prosperity to the people of Sarawak. Mudik ke hulu, naik perahu, berhenti singgah di kampung pusat. Mari bersama berganding bahu, keharmonian bersama, kekal sejahtera. Dua tiga kucing berlari, mana nak sama si kucing belang. Terima kasih Abang Johari, pembangunan di bawah, rakyat pun senang. Terima kasih, jaga Sarawak into Sarawak.
Dengan segala hormatnya, saya menjemput Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Haji Abdul Rahman Zuhari bin Tun Datuk Abang Haji Openg, Premier Sarawak, Menteri Keuangan dan Ekonomi Baru, Menteri Sumber Asli dan Pembangunan Bandar, Menteri Tenaga dan Kelestarian Alam Sekitar dan Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri N26 Gedung untuk menyampaikan ucapan penggulungan.
Terima kasih Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker. Terlebih dulu saya ingin mengucapkan penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada ahli-ahli yang berhormat yang mengambil bahagian dalam perbahasan serta sokongan mereka terhadap rang undang-undang yang telah dibentangkan, iaitu Supply 2023 Bill 2022, Electronic Sarawak Government Activities Bill 2022, Constitution of the State of Sarawak Amendment Bracket 2 Bill 2022, Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund Port Bill 2022, Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation Amendment Bill 2022 and Veterinary Public Health Amendment Bill 2022. With these approvals, the government can now move forward to implement the bills for efficient running of the government for the benefits of our rakyat. Throughout this sitting, members of this august House had raised many issues and concerns which cover various aspects, including infrastructure and utilities development, digital economy, rural development, education, and social development. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I believe my ministers in their respective winding up speeches have detailed out their responses to these issues and concerns. I therefore will not touch on specific matters, but rather I would like to provide a forward direction to create a conducive environment to strengthen our socio-economic development in face of the challenging global uncertainties and economic slowdown. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, kita telah pun berjaya melaksanakan tanggungjawab kita untuk memilih kerajaan persekutuan pada pilihan raya umum ke-15 yang berlangsung pada 19 November 2022. Kita semua sedia maklum bahawa kemelut politik pasca pilihan raya di mana tidak ada parti yang mempunyai majoriti mudah untuk membentuk kerajaan persekutuan. Oleh itu, kita menjunjung kasih ke bawah Duli Yang Maha Mulia Seri Paduka Baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong, kerana dengan kebijaksanaan dan kewibawaan Yang di-Pertuan Agong dan Majlis Raja-Raja Melayu, kemelut politik ini berjaya diselesaikan dengan penuh hemah, harmoni dan aman damai sebagaimana yang diperuntukkan dalam perlembagaan negara. Ini jelas menunjukkan bahawa institusi kerajaan berperlembagaan Malaysia adalah tonggak kedaulatan negara yang perlu didukung. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, sebagai rakyat Malaysia yang taat setia kepada titah Yang di-Pertuan Agong, kerajaan GPS telah meletakkan sepenuh kepercayaan kepada keputusan Baginda dan Majlis Raja-Raja Melayu untuk pelantikan Perdana Menteri Malaysia ke-10 dan seterusnya menubuhkan kerajaan perpaduan. Ini membuktikan bahawa GPS merupakan model kerajaan yang sentiasa menjunjung prinsip rukun negara, iaitu kepercayaan kepada Tuhan, kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara, keluhuran perlembagaan, kedaulatan undang-undang, dan kesopanan dan kesusilaan. Under this unity government, Sarawak government will work together with federal government to ensure political stability and economic prosperity of our nation. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Saya ingin mengucapkan setinggi tahniah kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim atas pelantikan beliau sebagai Perdana Menteri ke-10 pada 24 November 2022. Harapan kita di Sarawak adalah supaya dengan penubuhan kerajaan perpaduan di bawah kepimpinan beliau, banyak pembangunan dapat dilaksanakan dan segala hak tuntutan Sarawak dapat dipenuhi demi semangat perpaduan dalam Malaysia. Our representative in the unity government will ensure that all policies and initiatives of the federal government will take into consideration the well-being of our rakyat and Sarawak status, rights and interests within the Federation in accordance with our constitutional rights under the Malaysian Agreement 1963 and the IGC report. Pada kesempatan ini juga, izinkan saya merakamkan setinggi-tinggi ucapan penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada mantan Perdana Menteri Datuk Petinggi Ismail Sabri bin Yaakob atas segala jasa dan sumbangan beliau dalam pembangunan sosio-ekonomi Sarawak. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, dengan penuh kesyukuran, saya dan rakan-rakan dalam kerajaan GPS berterima kasih kepada rakyat Sarawak kerana sentiasa menyokong kerajaan GPS dengan memberi kemenangan besar pada PRU 15. GPS berjaya memenangi 23 kerusi daripada 31 kerusi parlimen yang dipertandingkan berbanding hanya 18 kerusi pada PRU 14. Mandat besar ini menunjukkan keyakinan rakyat kepada kerajaan GPS untuk terus menerujui kepimpinan Sarawak dalam mempertahankan hak-hak Sarawak dan membangunkan sosio-ekonomi demi rakyat. Saya yakin kejayaan GPS ini akan membolehkan suara rakyat Sarawak yang lebih kuat dalam parlimen dan juga kerajaan perpaduan untuk memperjuangkan kepentingan kita. Kerajaan GPS tidak akan menghampakan rakyat Sarawak atas sokongan mereka. Sebagai parti tempatan yang diwakili oleh masyarakat berbilang kaum Sarawak, GPS adalah satu-satunya parti yang ikhlas dan mengutamakan Sarawak. Tan Sri Datuk Mas Speaker, Sarawak, like other countries, is confronted with challenges caused by global economic slowdown and geopolitical tension, especially over the past few years when the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the world's goods and services supply chain. While these uncertainties have created many downside risks too and concern for Sarawak's economy, they certainly have also given us the opportunity to demonstrate our resilience to overcome economic adversity and develop the post-COVID-19 development strategy 2030 that would put Sarawak on a clear pathway towards achieving a high-income economy by 2030. I am glad to see Sarawak's economy is picking up and on track of recovery as we move towards endemicity. But we, the GPS government, will not rest on our laurels. We will continue to bring more development to Sarawak and fight against all odds and challenges that may come our way. Importantly, Sarawak needs to focus on improving our work efficiency and culture to achieve higher productivity, higher GDP growth, and enhance the competitiveness of our commercial and industrial sectors to gain confidence of investors, especially foreign investors. Sarawak government will continue to provide the impetus for driving Sarawak's economic growth by improving basic infrastructure and transportation, air and sea connectivity and accessibility, development of talents through better system of education and training, increasing the pace towards digital economy, and uplifting the standard of living of the rural population. This will create opportunities for fellow Sarawakians to participate in our industrial development, especially in the resource-based industry, namely our oil and gas sector. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I have established Petros in 2017, and now I am pleased to inform this August House that Petros has grown to be the third largest oil and gas company in Malaysia after Petronas and Shell in its equity in hydrocarbon resource base. In the offshore exploration and production space, Petros has A. 3 offshore producing PSC or production sharing contracts, and B. 4 offshore exploration PSC production sharing contracts. For onshore exploration and production, Petros has 100% right as accorded by the Oil Mining Ordinance 1958. The Petros Sarawak Gas Roadmap is indeed a game changer and will change socio-economic landscape of Sarawak by 2030 via creation of 4 gas hubs, that is Miri, Bintulu, Samalaju, and Kuching. Through these hubs, it will serve the whole Sarawak similar to the hub and spoke model, delivering a statewide access to sufficient and affordable gas supply and clean energy. In the meantime, in the immediate term, Petros will deliver 2 projects as part of Sarawak Gas Roadmap. First project is Miri Hub, 400 megawatt power plant to ensure northern Sarawak energy security. And B, second is Samalaju Hub. Petros will lay gas pipeline and together with SEB build a power plant. This is critical to complete Samalaju as heavy industry zone and to ensure reliability of electricity supply to to the heavy industries there. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, this project alone will require an investment of around 6 billion ringgit. Over 10 years, across the 4 hubs, the total projected investment is 65 billion ringgit, inclusive of downstream value-added industries, enabling access to gas beyond Miri and Bintulu to all parts of Sarawak. Petros and relevant state agencies are busy promoting such opportunities to downstream investors. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, as we move with the fast-changing world megatrends, Sarawak has taken a bold step by embarking on digital economy as the key enabler to accelerate efficiency and productivity. This allows us to diversify our economic activities and explore new economy. Innovation and technology will play an increasingly significant role to drive a sustainable economic growth towards a prosperous and progressive Sarawak. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, we acknowledge there are challenges in balancing between socio-economic development and environmental sustainability. Our lives and livelihoods are affected by climate change. For example, we have seen how the extreme weather events this year, such as large-scale floods and prolonged droughts in some countries, have caused devastating damage to their economies and also all over the world. Therefore, the state government gives due emphasis to develop green economy. We started early with our development on renewable energy, such as hydropower, of which we will ensure we maintain our energy generation mix of 60% from renewable energy. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, this August House had, in May this year, passed the amendments to Forest Ordinance and Land Code to enable Sarawak to initiate activities which will reduce emission of greenhouse gases, GHG, to mitigate the effects of global warming. Rules will soon be met by our State Cabinet pursuant to these amendments to regulate forest carbon activities, including afforestation and reforestation, and the storage of carbon dioxide, CO2, and other GHG in both the offshore and onshore areas of Sarawak. These activities, which could be undertaken in accordance with protocols and the clean and development mechanism formulated under Kyoto and Paris agreements on climate change, will yield tradable carbon credits and provide a new source of revenue for Sarawak. Under the forest carbon activities concept, after decades of logging for merchantable timbers, Sarawak will pursue new direction in forestry management of preserving our trees, planting more trees, restoring and rejuvenating our logged over areas or degraded forests. Licenses for forest carbon projects, which will contribute towards reduction in carbon emission, will be issued to regulate the establishment of such projects, which would be validated and verified by internationally accredited bodies for the issuance of carbon credits, which will be traded under the voluntary carbon market mechanism or in recognized international carbon credit exchanges. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, I'm happy to inform this House, August House, that the first regulated forest carbon project will commence in Sarawak in first quarter of 2023. This initiative will be driven by the private sector entities with the technological know-how and financial resources to ensure the success and sustainability of this project. Tuan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Sarawak, because of its stable geological formation, has the biggest carbon storage capacity in offshore areas. It is estimated that Sarawak has 30 trillion cubic meters of carbon storage capacity in the seabed of its continental shelf. The depleted or abundant petroleum fields in offshore areas are suitable for development into sites for secured permanent storage of carbon dioxide CO2 captured by oil and gas companies who now have obligation to reduce emission of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The captured and stored CO2 can be used for making of hydrogen, H2, blue ammonia, biofuels, and other related products, thereby providing a platform for the sustained development of carbon capture, utilization, and storage, also known as CCUS industry in Sarawak, apart from the generation of carbon credits and another new source of revenue for Sarawak. At this stage, Petros and Petronas are working jointly to begin work on development of a depleted oil field off the coast of Sarawak for storage of captured carbon dioxide from an adjacent oil producing field. A license for this will be issued as soon as the new rules on carbon storage are gazetted in early 2023. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, recently Petronas Carigali Sendian Berhad has reached the final investment decision FID for the development of the Kasawari CCS project of Bintulu and is expected to reduce carbon dioxide volume emitted by 3.3 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent annually, making it one of the largest offshore CCS projects in the world. Additionally, reputable companies in Singapore, Korea, and Japan have also keen interest in participating and investing in CCUS in Sarawak and in the transboundary transportation of captured carbon dioxide from these countries for safe storage in offshore Sarawak. The future of this new industry for Sarawak is bright and is also another revenue generation for Sarawak via imposition of carbon storage levies. It is also estimated that more than 10,000 new clean jobs for this industry would be created before 2030. Another milestone for Sarawak is the first autonomous rapid transit ART proof of concept in Kuching to begin in the third quarter of 2023, powered by hydrogen fuel. This initiative will be driven by Sarawak Metro and supported by the Ministry of Transport Sarawak. I am convinced that the use of hydrogen energy in the broad range of fields, including mobility, commercial, industrial, and energy storage, as well as feedstock to various chemical processes, will help realize a cleaner and more sustainable society for Sarawak. Our initiative to produce hydrogen fuel locally will support our agenda for development of hydrogen economy in Sarawak. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I am happy to note that our first hydrogen production plant in Sarawak is at the front-end engineering design or FEED stage. This plant is expected to produce 630,000 metric tons of green ammonia, 600,000 metric tons of blue ammonia, 220,000 metric tons of green hydrogen, of which 7,000 metric tons will be for domestic use and the rest will be exported. This forms the base for the development of our hydrogen economy value chain in Sarawak. Another important initiative in Sarawak's green economy agenda is the development of hybrid solar wind renewable power system by Shell under Timi Field Development Project offshore Bintulu. This will diversify our renewable energy mix for Sarawak in line with the national commitment to achieve net zero emission by 2050. Sarawak, Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I must say, from the proactive initiative I have already outlined earlier, will play a key part in accomplishing this national commitment to the United Nations under the Paris Agreement. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, in 2019, I launched a 1,000 square meter algae facility at Sarawak Biodiversity Center for research and to test the growing of algae outdoors. Research in producing algae-based renewable biofuel is part of Sarawak's effort to develop its sustainable green agenda, particularly the green energy. This, I think, is an important step as we aim to use various technologies to produce algae biomass on a large scale. When algae are grown, carbon is absorbed, and therefore it can be used as carbon capture and storage technology. Advancement in research and modern technologies are now able to rapidly grow algae and extract its oil to be converted into biofuels for energy, while taking advantage of the other components in algae, such as proteins, carbohydrates, and nutrients. Algae cultivation or farming for biofuels will be mainly carried out by the SCDC Energy together with Petronas Research Sdn Bhd. I am also proud of the collaboration and progress of the industrial scale microalgae production facility. This facility will absorb carbon dioxide waste stream from Sejingkat coal power station to grow algae in a carbon circular economy. This project is a collaboration among Sarawak Biodiversity Center, SEB, Cheetos Laboratory, this is from Japan, and UNOS, also from Japan. This project is a 5-hectare algae production facility to achieve greener and cleaner coal power generation. Simultaneously, it creates downstream opportunities across various sectors through reduction of carbon dioxide emission via carbon capture and utilization. This facility is expected to be launched in February 2023. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I would like to inform this August House that I will explore more of our natural resources and how we can monetize these resources responsibly and sustainably to increase investment, business, and job opportunities for our rakyat. These include nature-based solutions to diversify our sources of revenue stream for our current and future consumption. All these new economy initiatives are to diversify our economic base for the creation of more investment, new businesses, and job opportunities for our people to increase their income and livelihood. I would like to reiterate in this August House that all these initiatives are based on environmental, social, and governance principles, ESG. This is important for us to attract more foreign investment to Sarawak, as it is a prerequisite by the international community for any investment decision. This has put Sarawak in the global map. As a recognition of our initiative, I have been invited to share our initiative in many renowned international platforms this year, such as World Hydrogen Summit in Rotterdam, Japan Time to Act Forum in Tokyo, and Singapore International Energy Week, of which I present Sarawak. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, we are going to establish our own airline to boost industry and driving businesses in Sarawak. The airline business model would not be profit motivated. Instead, the outcome is the economic multiplying effect. The aim is to connect to international destinations like Singapore, Jakarta, Hong Kong, Japan, and Bangkok, to name a few. This effort will be a catalyst towards bringing Sarawak to the next level with better connectivity and accessibility to the world. Actually, Sarawakians have been complaining of high fare. This will stabilize the fare between Sarawak, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, and the rest of the destination, because we want to give access to people to come to Sarawak, both for tourism as well as for businesses. Improved air connectivity would not only boost tourism, it would facilitate and accelerate socio-economic development, trade, and e-commerce in Sarawak. In addition, the Sarawak government is embarking on improvement to Miri Port Sungai Baram Channel and Samalaju deep sea port facilities in Bintulu. We are also exploring the development of a new deep sea port for Lawas and Kuching going forward. This is important for Sarawak to be part of the worldwide supply chain, especially for food, energy, parts, and components. Datuk Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, I would like to express my thanks to all ahli-ahli yang berhormat for participating in the debate on Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund Ordinance 2022 SSWFF Ordinance. I am happy to note that everyone seems to understand the intention, concept, and the rationale of the establishment of this investment fund through the SSWFF Ordinance. During the debate, there was some constructive suggestion and concern raised on the governance and the structure of the fund, including the penalties imposed under the ordinance. Tan Sri Datuk Speaker, I wish to highlight that the SSWFF Ordinance does not operate in derogation of other laws. The penalties under the ordinance is intended to punish those who are negligent in the management of the fund, as well as for non-compliance of any requirements under the ordinance. For any other serious breach, offenders would not only be punished under the ordinance, but will also be subjected to other laws relating to criminal offences, such as the Penal Code Act 574, the Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2009 Act 694. The Sarawak government will ensure strict and heavy penalty to be enforced on Board of Guardians if they are found guilty of misappropriation of funds or acting recklessly or negligently in the discharge of their fiduciary duties to the board and its stakeholders. Additionally, the government will strictly monitor the implementation and governance of the fund and will take any action to ensure the smooth and transparent management of the fund. Rest assured, the government is serious in its intention to manage the fund in accordance with the Santiago Principles and to uphold transparency and good governance in the management of this fund. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, 2023 marks the third year into the implementation of PCDS 2030. 2023 is also a year for us to conduct a mid-term review for 12 Malaysia Plan. This is important because we need to assess and evaluate our performance to ensure we are on track to achieve our targets. In this review, it is crucial for us to prioritize the immediate high-impact projects in PCDS 2030, which will accelerate Sarawak growth in becoming a developed state. We must focus our efforts on priority projects which will result in Sarawak achieving our goals of economic prosperity, social inclusivity, and environmental sustainability. As the number of infrastructure projects in Sarawak have increased drastically as compared to earlier years, I believe among the key issues for construction projects in Sarawak is the building material supply and prices, especially that of steel bars and cement. Accordingly, the demand for building materials in Sarawak moves in upward trend, and this, I believe, will continue to move upwards even beyond 2025. Therefore, my cabinet members and I will study and review relevant policies for our construction industry to move ahead economically. I think with price stabilization, our construction activities will be vibrant as we develop Sarawak. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Sikar, tahun depan kita akan meraihkan 60 tahun Sarawak bersama-sama dengan Sabah dan Malaya dalam menubuhkan Malaysia. Sarawak akan mengadakan pelbagai program dan aktiviti untuk meraihkan sambutan 60 tahun penubuhan Malaysia. Kita bersyukur kerana banyak nikmat pembangunan yang telah kita kecapi, khususnya dalam bidang ekonomi, pendidikan, kesihatan dan keselamatan. Oleh itu, saya ingin menyeru semua rakyat Sarawak untuk sama-sama bersatu, memastikan perpaduan dalam kepelbagaian dengan meraihkan Malaysia yang berbilang kaum, bangsa dan agama. Marilah kita menjadikan Sarawak sebagai wilayah yang maju dan makmur untuk kesejahteraan bersama. Saya mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker yang telah mengendalikan persidangan DUN dengan teratur dan cemerlang. Ucapan terima kasih juga kepada semua pegawai-pegawai kerajaan dan petugas Dewan yang telah menjalankan tugas dengan penuh kesabaran dan cemerlang. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, kerajaan GPS amat menghargai sumbangan dan komitmen pegawai-pegawai Perkhidmatan Awam Negeri Sarawak dan juga pegawai-pegawai Perkhidmatan Awam Persekutuan dalam melaksanakan tugas dan tanggungjawab secara profesional sepanjang tahun. Amalan mulia disanjung tinggi, budi pekerti sifat terpuji, sumbangan penjawat awam kami hargai demi Sarawak Ibu Pertiwi. Burung kenyalang tinggi di awan, singgah ke dahan mencari makan. Jasa penjawat awan kami kenangkan 1,5 bulan bayaran insentif khas saya umumkan. Dengan ini, kerajaan GPS telah memutuskan untuk memberi bayaran insentif khas bersamaan 1,5 bulan gaji pokok atau minima RM2,000 kepada pegawai Perkhidmatan Awam Negeri Sarawak dan akan dibayar sebelum penghujung tahun ini. Kita juga akan membayar insentif khas kepada lebih kurang 137,000 penjawat awam persekutuan yang berkhidmat di Sarawak sebanyak RM500. Akhir kata, saya bagi pihak rakan-rakan mengucapkan selamat menyambut Hari Krismas kepada semua ahli yang berhormat dan rakyat Sarawak yang akan menyambutnya. Selamat Tahun Baru 2023 kepada semua dan Kong Hi Fak Chai kepada yang semua meraihkannya. Jaga Sarawak, into Sarawak. Sekian, terima kasih.
Ahli yang berhormat, I shall now call upon Yang Amat Berhormat Premier of Sarawak and Minister for Finance and New Economy to move the motion that the bill be read a second time.
Tan Sri Dr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Supply 2023 Bill 2022 be read a second time.
Ahli yang berhormat, the question is that the Supply 2023 Bill 2022 be read a second time. As many as are of the opinion say yes. As many as are of the contrary opinion say no. The yes of it, the bill is read a second time.
Supply 2023 Bill 2022.
Ahli yang berhormat, the question is that the following motion be referred to the Committee of Supply. That this Dewan resolves to approve the development estimates 2023 as contained in Command Paper No. 11 of 2022 laid on the table on 21st November 2022. As many as opinions say yes. As many as contrary opinions say no. The yes have it. The motion is carried and shall stand committed to the Committee of Supply. The House shall now resolve into a Committee of Supply. We shall now consider Command Paper No. 9 of 2022 on the estimates of revenue and ordinary expenditure for the year 2023, laid on the table on 21st November 2022. The question is that the amount of expenditure on all heads as set forth in the estimates of revenue and ordinary expenditure for the year 2023 be approved. As many as the opinions say yes, as many as contrary opinions say no, the yes of it, the estimates of revenue and ordinary expenditure for the year 2023 are approved. We shall now consider the Supply 2023 Bill 2022.
The schedule.
The question is that the schedule be ordered to stand part of the bill. As many as our opinions say yes, as many as contributors say no, the yes have it, the schedule stands part of the bill.
Clauses 1 and 2.
The question is that clauses 1 and 2 be ordered to stand part of the bill. As many of the opinions say yes, as many contributors say no, the yes have it, clauses 1 and 2 be ordered to stand part of the bill.
Schedule, enacting clauses and title.
We shall now consider Command Paper number 11 of 2022 on the development estimates 2023 laid on the table on 21st November 2022. The question is that the amount of expenditure on all heads as set forth in the development estimates 2023 be approved. As many as the opinions say yes, as many contributors say no, the yes have it, the development estimates 2023 is approved. The Dewan shall now resume. Yang Amat Berhormat Premier.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I wish to report that the Supply 2023 Bill 2022 and the motion on the development estimate for the year 2023 has been considered by the Committee of Supply and agreed to without amendment.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang ketiga. Supply 2023 Bill 2022 Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak, Menteri Kewangan dan Ekonomi Baru dan Adun N26 Gedong.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to move that the Supply 2023 Bill 2022 be read a third time and do pass.
Ahli Yang Berhormat, the question is that the Supply 2023 Bill 2022 be read a third time and do pass. As many as the opinions say yes, as many contributors say no, the yes have it, the bill is read a third time and passed.
Supply 2023 Bill 2022 usul untuk melulus resolusi anggaran pembelanjaan pembangunan bagi tahun 2023. Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak, Menteri Kewangan dan Ekonomi Baru dan Adun N26 Gedong.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to move that this House resolve to approve the development estimate for the year 2023 is contained in Command Paper number 11 of 2022, laid on the table on 21st November 2022.
Another minister to second, please.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to second.
Ahli Yang Berhormat, the question before the Dewan is that the motion in the name of Yang Amat Berhormat, Premier of Sarawak and Minister for Finance and New Economy be approved. As many of the opinions say yes, as many contrary opinions say no, the yes have it, the motion is approved.
Usul penangguhan Yang Berhormat Datuk Henry Anak Jinep, Timbalan Menteri Pengangkutan Sungai dan Laut dan Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri N2 Tasik Biru.
Good evening, salam Ibu Pertiwiku, salam Sarawak ku sayang. to the Honorable Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker and members of this August House. First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity to move a motion of adjournment for the second meeting of the third session of the first term of the 19th Dewan Undangan Negeri. The proceedings of this sitting held from 21st November till 1st December 2022 were very well attended and participated by members of the August House. Numerous issues concerning the economy, security, and other issues affecting the daily lives of the rakyat were raised and debated extensively. And in the end, we all agreed that the government must prioritize the rakyat economic well-being and security. The slogan Sarawak First is well accepted by all strata of Sarawak communities, as evidenced by the successful 12th state election in 2021, in which Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS won an overwhelming landslide, winning 76 seats and a super majority in an extraordinary manner. Tepuklah sikit. The rakyat Sarawak's trust in GPS was further demonstrated in the recently concluded 15th parliamentary election, in which GPS won a comfortable majority of 23 seats in Sarawak. These achievements were made possible by the trust and confidence that the rakyat Sarawak have on GPS to continue to lead Sarawak towards greater economic and security opulence. When the rakyat elected us, they expected us to keep our promises to ensure health care access, income, security, affordable education, and economic well-being. The GPS government will work harder and more tirelessly to fulfill its promises to the rakyat. Simply put, we promise, we must deliver. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030, PCDS 2030. The world was ravaged by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019-2020, weakening global economic growth. Almost all economies, including Malaysia, experienced historic drops because of the pandemic. Economic recovery is central to Sarawak's forward-looking economic agenda, defined in the Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030, in bracket PCDS 2030, the brainchild of none other than our Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak. The Action and Implementation Plans, AIP, PCDS 2030, contains detailed action and implementation plan. The Action and Implementation Plan ensure that the plan is implemented on time to achieve its goals and targets for the benefit of all communities, both urban and rural. The 7 strategic thrusts of the PCDS 2030 are: number 1, economic structure; number 2, ease of doing business; number 3, targeted spending; number 4, optimized assets and human capital; number 5, digital and executions; number 6, social inclusivity; and number 7, environmental sustainability, which will be implemented in 6 economic sectors, which are: number 1, manufacturing; number 2, agriculture; number 3, tourism; number 4, forestry; number 5, mining; and number 6, social services, through 7 enablers, which are: number 1, digital transformation; number 2, innovation; number 3, education and human capital; number 4, infrastructure; number 5, utilities; number 6, transport; and number 7, renewable energy. The PCDS 2030 is an economic blueprint that aims to achieve high income status by 2030. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Sarawak Budget 2023. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Right Honourable Premier for presenting a surplus and development bias budget for 2023 with the theme of Sarawak First, towards an inclusive, prosperous and harmonious society. A total of ringgit Malaysia 10.797 billion has been budgeted for 2023, with ringgit Malaysia 3.997 billion set aside for operating expenses and ringgit Malaysia 6.8 billion set aside to fund various development programs and projects. This ringgit Malaysia 10.797 billion Sarawak budget is the biggest and the only double-digit state budget in Malaysia. For the record, the ringgit Malaysia 10.797 billion budgeted for 2023 outstrips the federal government's allocation of ringgit Malaysia 5.4 billion, which represent only 5.7% of the total federal development budget of ringgit Malaysia 95 billion for 2023, even though Sarawak is a exploring state. Ini adalah sesuatu yang amat mengecewakan bagi kita di Sarawak. Kawasan Sarawak itu besar, tapi peruntukan diberi terlalu kecil. Ada patutkah macam tu? This ringgit Malaysia 5.4 billion allocation is insufficient to meet Sarawak development requirement. The federal government appears to have continuously treated Sarawak unfairly in the distribution of development funds, despite Sarawak's significant contribution to the federal government coffers from its rich oil resources since 1976. Dah 46 tahun. Sarawak aja-aja yang tanggung Melaya tu. To bridge the development gap between Peninsula Malaysia and Sarawak, the federal government should be more accommodating in allocating development funds to Sarawak to develop our basic infrastructure, repair dilapidated rural school, construct communication towers to improve internet coverage and other basic infrastructures required for sustainable livelihood. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, the 2023 state budget is expected to generate a surplus of ringgit Malaysia 238 million, with revenue projected at ringgit Malaysia 11.035 billion and expenditure budgeted at ringgit Malaysia 10.797 billion. This has been made possible by our young Amat Berhormat Premier's foresight and vision, who began thinking about and planning potential additional revenue stream for Sarawak from the start of his premiership. The Sarawak government has imposed a state sales tax on petroleum products since January 2019, which has become a major contributor to the overall state revenue. During this June sitting session, the Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund Board Bill 2022 was among the bills passed by this August House. The said bill, which seeks to establish a state fund to maximize returns from the state surplus capital reserves through investment, was fully supported by all members. Sovereign wealth funds are special purpose investment funds owned by governments, including central and subnational government, to create sustainable financial and economic returns. This would ensure continuous revenue source for the state instead of various commodity-based revenue that we have enjoyed over the years. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Greater Kuching Coordinated Development Agency, GKCDA. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Right Honourable Premier for the formation of regional development agencies in Sarawak, namely Upper Rajang Development Agency, URDA, Highland Development Agency, HDA, Northern Region Development Agency, NRDA, which are under the purview of Regional Corridor Development Authority, RECORDA, Integrated Regional Semlahan Development Agency, IRSDA, Sri Aman Development Agency, SADA, and the most recent one, the Betong Division Development Agency, BDDA, and Rajang Delta Development Agency, RADDA, and of course, the Greater Kuching Coordinated Development Agency, GKCDA, which stretch from Tanjung Datuk to Terbeda. As I have stated earlier during the first meeting of the fourth session, done sitting on 2nd May 2019, there is indeed a need for the Sarawak government to establish a development authority for the Bedayah areas, especially to coordinate and manage and enhance the development of mining activities, agriculture and tourism development in the southern region, that is within the Bedayah belt, stretching from Lundut to Siaran, passing through Bau, Penglisen and Pedawan hinterland. The areas mentioned hold vast potential and opportunities to be developed into a major agriculture and tourism hub. Hari ini, cadangan untuk penubuhan Development Agency tersebut sudah menjadi kenyataan atas keyakinan yang amat berhormat Premier terhadap sokongan dan kepercayaan rakyat kepada kerajaan GPS pada PRN 12. Yang berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amal Speaker PRU 15, I wish to congratulate the Yang Amat Berhormat Premier of Sarawak for leading GPS into yet another outstanding election victory. I also wish to congratulate all the newly elected members of Parliament for their handsome victories. Their win will undoubtedly give Sarawak a strong voice in Parliament in fighting for Sarawak rights as enshrined in MA 63 and the IGC. It is also hoped that there will be also a stronger Sarawak representation in the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia. I would like to congratulate Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim on his appointment as the Malaysian 10th Prime Minister. We hope the unity government he leads will guide Malaysia towards stability, economic growth and progress. On the 24th November 2022, the newly elected Prime Minister confirmed that his unity government comprises of Pakatan Harapan, Barisan Nasional and Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS. In his press conference, the Prime Minister said that the government is also supported by MPs from Warisan, Muda and Parti Bangsa Malaysia. Kerajaan GPS Sarawak menyambut baik pembentukan kerajaan perpaduan untuk mewujudkan kestabilan politik dan keharmonian dalam kalangan rakyat selain melepasi ujian dari cabaran getir ekonomi yang diramal meleset pada tahun hadapan. Pada 24 November 2022, terciptanya satu sejarah apabila atas arah saranan yang di-Pertuan Agong telah terbentuknya kerajaan perpaduan di mana DAP dan GPS bersama-sama dalam kerajaan tersebut di peringkat kerajaan persekutuan. I observe both our friends from the other side, from Pandungan and Pending, they are quite quiet now. More behave. Thank you. We are friends. I follow our Deputy Premier statement. Walaupun kita di GPS telah menerima permohonan maaf dari pihak DAP, tapi saya pasti ramai tidak dapat merupakan yang DAP pernah menghina rakyat Sarawak. Dengan mengatakan Sarawak pengemis yang tamak dan kerajaan Sarawak akan mempupris, banyak lagi kata-kata kesat telah dilemparkan oleh DAP dalam kerajaan dan rakyat Sarawak. Semua di Sarawak tengah memerhati gaya dan tingkah laku dan DAP terhadap rakyat Sarawak. Dan terbentuknya kerajaan perpaduan ini di peringkat persekutuan, DAP harus menjaga moralnya, sikapnya dan tingkah lakunya. Dan bukan sahaja dalam Dewan yang mulia ini, bahkan di mana-mana, pergi bau pun sama-sama bersama duduk minum. Jangan gaduh lagi. Kita mau tolong rakyat. Gitu juga dengan Dimas Gading lah. Jangan menghilang 4 tahun baru nampak muka. Kita tunggu dan lihat sejauh mana keikhlasan DAP di dalam membawa pembangunan ke Sarawak, terutama di kawasan pedalaman, seperti yang dilaung-laungkan dalam manifesto mereka, termasuk memperjuangkan hak Sarawak di bawah perjanjian Malaysia MA 63. Tak apalah, you duduk dah. Yang berhormat Tan Sri Amal Speaker, saya tunggu. Boleh. Yang berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Speaker, tengok dia sudah bising, nakal sudah. Baru cakap dia sudah. Yang berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amal Speaker, inclusiveness and fairness in the civil service. In almost every election campaign, Much talk has been going on the ground, especially from the Undi 18 voters. This one you must listen. On their disappointment and dissatisfaction, much of it revolves around the seemingly unfair treatment received by our young generation, either in their education or in the employment world. Ada pelajar yang berjumpa dengan saya, walaupun dia mendapat keputusan cemerlang, tapi dia tidak dapat memohon bidang yang diminati atas alasan tidak layak. Ada yang juga pelajar yang tidak dapat melanjutkan pelajaran ke IPTA dan memohon melalui SPA recruitment, e-recruitment, tetapi selalu menerima keputusan gagal tidak layak atas alasan tidak memenuhi keperluan minimum walaupun keputusan cemerlang. Akhirnya pelajar cemerlang tersebut terpaksa kerja pump attendant dan kedai kopi di Kopitiam. Ada yang belajar sampai master, PhD, pun balik kampung dan berkebun. Akhirnya menjadi cikgu sandaran, guru tuition, sedangkan minat dan kepakarannya adalah di bidang lain. Pergi temuduga sampai 4-5 kali, masih juga golongan ini dibelakangkan. Sedangkan kelayakan akademik ada, pengalaman pun cukup. Benda macam tu ya pola anak-anak muda di kawasan pendalaman termasuk kawasan saya rasa kurang puas hati dan inginkan perubahan. Di kampung saya sendiri ada seorang anak muda yang telah menghadiri ujian kelayakan ambilan Angkatan Tentera Malaysia ATM. Namun beliau telah menerima keputusan tidak layak hanya kerana beliau berpanau di bahagian belakang badannya. You see how very unlogical reason to not to accept people to get employment. Nasiblah anak muda ini yang merupakan peninju tim Sukma Sarawak amat bersemangat untuk mencapai cita-citanya dan dia berjaya di Temuduga kali kedua. Satu lagi kes berkenaan anak muda yang mohon pekerjaan kali ini dengan Jabatan Imigresen Malaysia. Kelulusan akademik cemerlang, ujian fizikal pun cemerlang, namun tewas di bahagian Temuduga dan amat kesal bila dimaklumkan yang calon yang kurang cemerlang dan fizikal minimum pula yang mendapat jawatan tersebut. Tan Sri Dato' Amal Speaker, saya mohon kerajaan perpaduan ini dapat melihat dari sudut ini sama ada mereka betul-betul mahukan perubahan untuk masa hadapan anak-anak kita. This kind of grumblings from the grassroots must be taken into consideration by us in the government. We are part of the government. We are part of the system. We must show that there is inclusivity and fairness of governance of Sarawak, be it in our GRC, as well as transparency of recruitment, employment and promotion in the state civil service. If the current system is flawed, then we must rectify or change. Otherwise, people change us. Terlampau banyak kisah yang kita dengar di mana pemilihan untuk peluang pelajaran, pekerjaan banyak unsur pilih kasih dan tidak mengikut merit. Pilih kasih seperti ini boleh menjadi isu dan akan merosakkan pentadbiran mana-mana organisasi kerana ia menjurus kepada ketidakseimbangan representasi dan rasa tidak puas hati di kalangan pejabat awam ataupun pekerja. Ini mungkin menjadi kenyataan.
Ya Muhammad, you have to conclude.
Yes, I'm concluding, sir. Oleh demikian, saya percaya dengan sistem pemimpinan secara inklusiviti oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Premier kita, jurang ketidakseimbangan ini dapat dikurangkan. Ada satu harapan juga saya bawa dengan bentuknya kerajaan perpaduan yang baru ini, semua kaum akan mendapat pertimbangan dalam urusan pengambilan pekerjaan dalam jabatan atau agensi kerajaan maupun organisasi GLC. Janganlah bila tengok IC ada AK terus jadi ada awak kemudian. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Amal Speaker, kita di Sarawak telah lama mengamalkan perpaduan. Rakyat di Sarawak tidak kira agama, bangsa dan budaya dapat menjalani hidup dengan harmoni. Ini dapat dibuktikan dengan bandaraya Kuching dikenali dengan bandaraya perpaduan. Minum kopi pun boleh duduk sama-sama. Si kedak macam kawan kita di sini. Kita tidak mahu kerajaan perpaduan yang baru dibentuk mengubah perpaduan kita di Sarawak tu. Tapi kita ingin melihat apakah kerajaan perpaduan tersebut dapat menunaikan janji masing-masing semasa kempen pilihan raya yang lepas. Kita tidak mahu perpaduan bumi Sarawak berkecai seperti mana sistem pendidikan Malaysia tercemar semasa di tahun 80-an. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, conclusion, before I end, I would like to congratulate and thank you Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, the Deputy Speaker and the DUN team for doing an excellent job in ensuring the smooth running of this session proceeding. Thank you also to Yang Berhormat Dato' Amal, State Secretary of Sarawak, and all officers from various ministries, state and federal department, as well as government agencies for their utmost dedication and hard work, assisting the Minister and Deputy Minister preparing of DUN sitting. But my congratulations is too late because they already have the bonus. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our media friends who have been supporting and working tirelessly for the past 10 days since the first day of DUN sitting. I would also take this opportunity to wish everyone a blessed Merry Christmas, Happy New Year 2023, and Happy Chinese New Year Kong Hee Pat Chai. To all my compatriots in this August House, may the new year bring us more growth and development for our beloved Sarawak. Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, izinkan saya mengakhiri ucapan usul penangguhan ini dengan dua rangkap pantun. Gunung Gading sama didaki, Tasik Biru sama dijaga. Jikalau kita bersatu hati, nasib rakyat dapat dibela. Dari Kuching sampai ke Bau, singgah sekejap di kedai Julaihi. Mun semua kita berganding bahu, amanah rakyat akan dapat kita penuhi. With that, I beg to move. Thank you, sir.
Ahli yang berhormat, dengan ucapan usul penangguhan itu tadi, maka kita telah sampai ke penghujung mesyuarat ketiga penggal pertama Persidangan Dewan Undangan Negeri ke-19. Alhamdulillah, persidangan yang berlangsung selama 8 hari telah berjalan dengan lancar dan teratur atas kerjasama dan keprihatinan semua ahli yang berhormat dalam menjaga ketinggian dan kemuliaan Dewan yang mulia ini. Saya berdoa agar semua ahli yang berhormat kembali ke kawasan masing-masing dan selamat dan terus berkhidmat kepada rakyat. Bagi pihak Dewan yang mulia ini, saya juga ingin mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih kepada Yang Berhormat Setiausaha Kerajaan Negeri, Yang Arif Peguam Besar Negeri, Yang Berbahagia Setiausaha Keuangan Negeri, Yang Berbahagia Setiausaha Persekutuan, Yang Berbahagia Timbalan Setiausaha Kerajaan Negeri, semua setiausaha tetap kementerian, semua ketua jabatan dan agensi kerajaan, para pegawai, para petugas khas dan semua pihak yang telah bertungkus lumus dalam menjayakan persidangan ini. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan selamat Hari Christmas dan selamat Tahun Baru 2023 kepada semua di dalam dan di luar Dewan. Saya akhiri persidangan kita pada kali ini dengan menyampaikan 3 rangkap pantun. Dari Opar ke Bukit Kota, jalan Pen Borneo, nikmat bersama. Janji diikrar, pasti di kota, bajet dibentang, rakyat diutama. Langkah pendekar tumbuk berpadu, di medan perang musuh diburu. Usahalah bimbang, jangan diragu. Bersama Premier kita akan maju. Ikan ampurau dimasak gulai, dibuat lauk, tidaklah jemu. Dengan penggal pertama melebui tirai, sidang perasmian kita bertemu. With that, the House is now adjourned sine die. Ahli-ahli yang berhormat, we have CPA meeting.